At Federal, we have products for every season and every pursuit. Our passionate and dedicated teams design, build, and deliver the world's best American-made ammunition, whether you're hunting, target shooting, or defending yourself and family. Our pride and hard work can be found in every box, ammo can, or bottle of ammunition. For us, it's always in season. It's Federal season.
Welcome to Federal Ammunition's podcast. It's Federal season. I am so excited for our guest today. It's not often we have a celebrity on. Welcome, Hickok45, to the show.
Well, thank you. Thank you. You're the celebrity, but I'm happy to talk with you.
I am
This
so
is like
excited.
Tom Brady interviewing a high school football quarterback, you know?
Oh, no, not at all. It's flip-flopped. Mutual appreciation. So talking about your bio a little bit, it's March Madness, right? I understand you played college basketball.
I did. Yeah, it's been a few years ago, but I did. Yes.
Now you do a different type of shooting now, though, right?
Right.
less shooting hoops and more.
I enjoyed it back then, but I didn't get much time to do it, and didn't have the funds to do a lot of shooting at the time. Right.
Totally understand. And then you transition from college to professional life, dedicating your career to teaching middle school English. Am I right?
Right. Middle school and high school over the years, mostly middle school. Yes, that's why I'm insane. Yeah, a lot of exposure to middle schoolers, about a quarter of a century teaching 7th grade. So I have an excuse for any insane behavior that I exhibit.
Totally understandable. I have a 14-year-old at home, so I get it.
Well, yeah.
And you were even in law enforcement, but in 2007, you decided to jump into the wonderful world of the internet, YouTube. And since then, you have 6.6 million subscribers. You are rapidly approaching 2 billion views. I mean, how does that make you feel?
Well, I don't know. I guess it's fortunate that I'm too dumb to be nervous about it. You know, I really, and you have a lot of experience. I just kind of block out that so many people that either are watching or will be watching eventually. You know, some videos just get an average amount of views, then they'll take off later, a year later, or 3 years later, or 2 months later, and you'll look at, wow, 2 million people have seen that, or there's one with 47 million, you know. So you don't know how many people will actually see, you know, any given video, unless it's something that's really boring and, you know, won't get a lot of views. But I just don't think about it. You know, I don't know. I don't think much about it. I just
amazing.
Enjoy doing what I'm doing. And I was a shy kid, really. And it's not that I'm just so loaded with ego and confidence, I think. I just don't think about it that much.
Yeah. Well, it helps when you're doing something that you obviously enjoy and you do that. Why did you start a YouTube channel?
Just crazy, I guess. Well, I was teaching. I was fortunate where I taught. It was in a private school and had a lot of smart kids, smarter than I was, and I was able to teach some pretty good novels and literature. You know, To Kill a Mockingbird, some really good novels. And I taught Shane, which was great, the novel, Western novel, and so while I was doing that, I tried to add a little realism, and we were a high-tech school, and I had a laptop program even back in the early 90s when no one else did. And I was able to record some things on my shooting range showing what a Colt single action was, like Shane carried, and what a lever gun, the Western guns, and actually fire them and then bring that in digitally to the classroom and show them on the wall. And they got a kick out of it. I had fun doing it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I sent that to my son, who was in college at the time, John, and he said, "Dad, you need to do something like this for YouTube. There's not much on there regarding guns." And so, yeah, maybe. And so we just messed around and did a little for fun, recorded a few things, and popped it up there. And we're surprised that people, you know, like a few people kind of liked it, because we didn't know how to edit. You know, we didn't know how to edit. And we didn't edit. I think the early ones, I'm reaching around the camera, turn the camera on, you know, and turn it off. And it was just in there. Didn't even have the software to edit. Didn't know how to do it. It was a little pocket camera and all that. So anyway, so we just kind of continued that non-edited format, and that's how I got started doing it. It just took off. More people didn't take off quickly, but more people seemed to enjoy it than we thought should.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, it's great stuff. So it was really just impromptu. Did you have any plans, or do you just, even today, do you have a schedule? Do you like, no, we're talking about this today?
Yeah, I'd like to be able to say we had a really serious marketing plan that we put together, and but yeah, it just kind of happened, and that's the way things go in life. We just, I mean, I didn't realize it, but I was kind of preparing for it, by teaching so long and being a gun nut for so long, and that sort of thing, and then also in teaching. You can't worry about every little thing you say. If you misspeak, obviously you're not recording it. You're just up there for an hour. You're talking to kids and it's interaction. And that's just kind of the way I feel when we're doing a video. I'm just talking to the folks that are there watching. And if I don't say everything perfectly, so be it. I'm not going to worry about editing it out. And people are pretty forgiving. And so I think your question was, do I think about what we're going to do? I think about what we're going to do, but we don't really script anything.
Yeah. No, I think that's one of the things that people love about your channel, and you in particular, is because you're just very natural and you just have a conversation. But you're not afraid to like show when you miss. You're just like, oh, that one didn't hit, right? And it's very refreshing in this world of social media today, where everything has to be absolutely perfect and polished, and you continue to show that it doesn't have to be, by producing all of this.
And that's a compliment to the viewers, more so than I mean, it really is. Shooters in general, just good people, as you've been hanging around shooters for a long time and beating them. And shooters generally just good folks, and they understand, they're forgiving, and they don't expect you to be perfect, me to be perfect. You have bad matches probably at times, or at least worse than you wanted to have. That's just the way it goes. You don't always hit. And our videos are not really about marksmanship. I've shot a lot. I'm nowhere, obviously, in your league, but I've shot a lot for 50 or 60 years. And so, you know how it is. If you shoot a lot, you can hit an average size target, usually regularly.
Yes.
And a lot of people who haven't shot much, you struggle learning to shoot a pistol, right? Now, shooting a handgun is tough if you've not shot one. And so we look better than we really are, I mean, as long as I keep Rob Latham out of my videos and you and people like you all see, everybody thinks I'm a great shot.
That's funny. So if someone doesn't know who you are, they must be living under a rock somewhere and don't have access to the internet. What can people expect when they come to your channel and watch a video?
Well, they tell us they can expect just to see us having fun, but also trying to give some information. And in most videos, some are just strictly entertainment, but in most videos, I'm trying to give some information about sometimes, especially, it's a review on a firearm and everything that I know about it, and give my impressions and John's impressions. My cats are going crazy. The impressions about the firearm. And I call it a review. It's really not as much a review as some people give, because I shoot a lot of different firearms, and mainly I feel like we're giving our impression of what I think of this firearm, and how it compares with maybe some others, and and how it works, and just not so much accuracy, because that's that word. I don't bench rest shoot, and I don't compete in the Olympics and that kind of thing. Most firearms are way more accurate than we are just standing and shooting. And so I just give our impressions of the firearm, basically what it is. And they can expect an honest assessment, that's for certain, because we have some great sponsors, of course, Federal being one of them, and 5 or 6 others. But we're never in conflict with that. We don't review anything that we, are sponsored by. And so they tell us all the time they appreciate the honesty, and that is by design. We intentionally stay out of those situations, so we can be totally honest and give our impressions of things.
Yeah, I mean, being members of Team Federal, it's very easy to be biased.
Yeah, oh, it is. It is. I used Federal long before I, had a relationship with them. Of course, I've got boxes in my reloading room. I pull out occasionally some old Federal box I purchased, and like $7.95 for a box of 38 Special or something. It's funny to find that stuff, and 44 Magnum, for $9.95, and so obviously, and that's always a good situation when you're supported by a company that you've been supporting or patronizing, for most of your life. That's nice.
Absolutely. So transitioning a little bit into shooting experience, I am very envious of your range setup. Can you kind of walk people through that and the mindset of where you put all of those amazing targets and the plan? And do you weed whack in there? I mean, how do you do it all?
Do I do what back in there?
Weed whack.
Weed whack.
All the
Oh, yeah, that or Roundup or whatever.
There you go.
I get the weed whacker out occasionally. Sometimes 12 gauge helps take care of some of that. But that kind of grew. I bought this place in 1985, not 1885. And the range has just kind of grown since then. I've added a few targets here and there. And I started with animals and then some just plates, and that's evolved. We have a video on shooting steel and how those plates even evolved, to make them safer and everything. And back in 86, when I was setting that up, I don't know if there was any AR-500 steel around. You didn't have all the options you have today. You can go online and find cool targets you can buy or whatever. But I had people make them locally and use different types of targets. And if I started realized I was getting a little bit of a lead back at me, I'd redesign it and went through that process. But I added more. When I got into cowboy action shooting, I've done all kinds of different shooting, and I had some cowboy targets. I did IHMSA, shooting long-range animals back in the 70s. So, that's kind of where I started. I had some of those, and then did some IPSC and different things, and a GSSF, and jack of all trades, master of none. And so those targets were kind of an amalgamation of all that. People, the gong is the most significant target, I guess. People always asking about that. And I put that up before the videos. And I have always liked, and learned that from cowboy action shooting, to have some big targets, and because people just like to shoot. I'm a backyard plinker mainly. I'm not a competitor like you are. I did that. I took it pretty seriously for a while. But I was so interested in so many different firearms. I found myself being out on a weekend at a match, and I just want to go home and shoot my lever gun. I'm spending too much time standing on ranges, And so I just wanted a variety of targets, some big targets that anybody could hit within reason and that are fun to hit. How it is, you're out just plinking around. I just want to shoot that big target far away, or maybe that big target that's not even that far away. And then maybe I want to try to hit that little target, so just for variety's sake,
Yeah. No, I think that's, would you consider, if someone's learning or wanting to set up their home range, obviously having a bigger target there, do you have any other recommendations for them?
Well, that is a big one right there. I lost track of your question. Sorry. I'd like having, I think it's important to have some challenging targets and some mid-range challenging targets, and then some that are just not that hard to hit, as long as you're awake and sober, and you better be sober, right? And then of course the ricochet, you want to avoid, splashback. It's going to happen occasionally, maybe if you're shooting a lot of steel, but as long as you're protected with eye protection, you should be okay. Everybody shoots steel at their own risk, as I always say. Make sure it's out far enough. But make sure it has no edges, that's really important. And hardened steel's best if you can afford it. No edges, because that's, as I always tell people, it's like throwing a water balloon at a wall. You see where that water goes, it splatters outward, downward, and around. And you just keep that in mind. If there's an edge anywhere you can catch on, then it can kind of curve back at you, even from a distance. That's really important. And you don't need no one needs as many targets as I have. It's just
Oh, come on.
Kind of
Yes,
evolved.
we do.
Does help. You just sort of blindfolded to hit something, Don't call your targets.
It's a beautiful range setup.
Yeah. Yeah. So being an IPSC shooter myself, I would love to know more about when you competed, what you compete. Were you using a 45 with a comp? Tell me more about your life in practical shooting.
Well, I got started doing that. A fellow up the road in Clarksville, Tennessee, had a range, and he was getting into it. He'd been out to Cooper's, training, gun sight, and everything. Yep. And he was setting up some competition, and I ran into him in a gun shop kind of deal, and he invited me up and some other people, and we just started having matches. This was like 87 or something. Yeah. And then going pretty much by the USPSA rulings, and then became sanctioned in 89 or 90, and went to the state match section in Tennessee and actually competed in that in 89, I guess, 90. Nice. And set it up. And I'd never done anything like that, but it was kind of fun and didn't do all that badly. And I started with a 45 stock, pretty much, just 45 ACP, 1911. And I just enjoy shooting steel and shooting those plates and the poppers and all that kind of thing. And I didn't even know all the rules at first. I would just bang, blast through, hit a hostage, so what, and no shoot. I didn't even realize the scoring, how badly that killed you on the scoring. And then about a year later, I got a 38 Super with compensator. I thought, okay, I'm going to have some fun with this, shoot open class. And I did that for a little bit. Never did put a red dot on it. I didn't get into that, and it wasn't even high capacity. But I did that for a little while before I traded that. So I messed around with all that. I never was a master class shooter, but and I was always accused of sandbagging because I really didn't care that much about what class I just shot, and had fun, won some guns, messing around, but then I just kind of wandered off doing my own thing, cowboy action shooting. What's the more practical side of you? You've done it, I know. I can't think, but it's kind of an offshoot of USPSA, but more practical. What am I trying to say? IDPA, IDPA. I did that for about a year and a half.
Too many acronyms.
Yeah, I enjoyed that, and cowboy action and GSF matches occasionally. And I finally won a subcompact in a SSF match. That was my goal to actually. I'd come in second or third, and you know how those matches are. If you've ever done one, you got a lot of people that they don't shoot that much necessarily, but then you got the top tier of people. You got whatever each class, 8 or 9 people that they're serious shooters, and so it's not hard to come in fairly high, but boy, to win, you're shooting against some of the best people. And so I finally won that, and then I quit doing that. That was my goal. But I messed around, jack of all trades, and I just like to shoot everything: lever guns, muzzle loaders, AR-15s. I like it all. Ask Federal; they know from the ammo I order.
That's awesome. I'm gonna check some of my notes here. So as I understand it, you were even on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Can you tell us more about that experience?
Wasn't on there interviewed by him. They just showed. They had various over the years. The pumpkin carving and different things like that that were kind of well known for out in the general public. Carving the pumpkin carving we do every year. Those kinds of videos seem to get out there more. And I know Greg Gutfeld has shown that a couple, 3 different times. It was on Jay Leno's Tonight Show showed it, and I don't know those things really do get out there. And I think early on things like that. Things like that helped the channel grow because we weren't doing just one type of firearm, one type of shooting, the muzzle loaders. And that, again, that's not by a plan or design. It's just what I've always liked. I enjoy muzzle loaders. I enjoy lever action and Colt single actions and Glocks and SIGs and Smith & Wesson. I just like them all and enjoy them all thoroughly and almost equally, so... and I think that helped pull in people early because people would be searching for one gal searching for a Glock 19 video or information, and someone else is searching for information on an 1861 Springfield Civil War rifle. And, and it's on our channel, that helped.
Definitely one of the broadest as far as covering different types of firearms. Everybody kind of sticks to a niche in a lot of the gun reviewer worlds of YouTube, but you can see a little bit of everything from, the more distinguished antique type firearms out there to the more modern makes, obviously. And then you have the entertainment component come in. The first time you ever made it to mainstream through what you produce on YouTube, I mean, what were you thinking?
Would you say when it made mainstream?
Yeah, when you were on, really getting the attention that, of the everyday person out there.
Yeah, I don't know, it was kind of a surprise, but the whole thing was a surprise, really.
Yeah.
Everybody gets their 15 minutes of fame, and it's just, it's weird. I the first time, the biggest surprise, after we realized, wow, people are watching this thing, and we started getting recognized. And then the web, people come from all over the web, wanting to interview about this, that video, and different things. But the first time I went into a gun shop one night, I remember in Greenbrier, Tennessee, and this was, I don't know, we've been doing this for maybe 6 months or something, messing around with it, and I was leaving the gun shop. Some guy coming in said, "Oh, hi, Hickok45," and I said, "Yeah, good to meet you." And that was the first time somebody in public recognized me. That was probably 2007 or 8. And it really was weird. It was a weird reaction that a lot of people can't relate to because YouTube was such a kind of a new thing, at that time. And doing a video and posting it, and then someone recognizing you from that. I know it sounds a little silly now in 2022, but it was really odd, and that was almost more amazing to me and surprising than like something showing up on the Tonight Show or whatever, or Tucker Carlson wanting to come down, that sort of thing. It was very surprising. And I've gotten used to it, and I enjoy it. I enjoy meeting viewers. I'm sure you do too when you run into them, as long as they don't seem too creepy or crazy.
Yeah, no, it's like going to SHOT Show or NRA Show or any of the other, public events that we go to is a lot of fun. And I've seen you work there. I mean, you and your son genuinely enjoy it.
I do. I enjoy meeting people that watch the videos. We just got back off a Florida trip, my wife and I, and I ran into a lot of people around, restaurants or wherever, at tourist sites and things. And it's just, it's not like being a real celebrity. If you were George Clooney or something, or someone like that you can't stick your head out the door, that would be a problematic, I guess, and you'd get jaded. But with, I don't know how it is with you, but with me, it's just, I'm at a restaurant or I'm out and around. I meet like somebody almost every day if I'm around, or a couple of people here and there. And it's just the right amount, because they're shooters, they're firearms enthusiasts, just like you and me, And so it's kind of fun to meet them, and sometimes actually have a conversation with them, and so it's all good. It really is.
No, that's great. And the fact that you get to do this with your son, I mean, can you talk a little bit more about the dynamic of the channel with him?
Yeah, it's great. He's really involved in comedy now, so I end up doing more of the work, but he's out every night being a comedian. But we everything is by design. We plan it, and I mean, to an extent, the videos, once we get the camera rolling, who knows what I'm going to say, but we just it's by design, and we talk about everything, and he doesn't do anything, I don't do anything that I don't talk to him or think about what he would think about this, setting up a video or ideas for videos. We talk about it all the time, and he does most of the camera work, and unless I'm filming him, because he'll do a video occasionally, and he does a lot better on the camera than I do. But we've been doing it for a long time, but we've always been close since he was a baby. We just teaching. We'd spend a lot of time together in the summers, and travel and different things, where we go to SHOT together and NRA meetings and everything, and do meet and greets, and so it's a team affair, of course, and we're partners, in the whole thing. And,
that's
I don't
fantastic.
know what else to say about it. It's just, since he was literally born, I was the first one that held him, even though, of course, mother held, so we
Oh.
just continued doing things together, now he's 33, so, he's his own life, but, still, we're together probably 3 days a week, something like that. And some days maybe not, and the weeks not at all, but then other weeks, maybe 5 days where we're doing videos. So it just kind of varies.
Yeah. So when you sit down and you head to the range and you plan a video, how many videos would you film during a day, or does it vary based on how involved it'll be?
It really does vary. It may be we do one video. It may be we do two or three. Weather
Yeah.
is a factor.
Yeah.
You're really
Especially
looking
in
ahead what
summer.
season it is. If it's going to see a day. Now he's tied up today. Would be a great day. It's going to be cloudy, I think, all day. Yesterday was pretty good too, but he's tied up this week, part of the week, and so we're always looking at the weather, and we plan what days look good. Where it's not going to be rainy, of course, or really, really cold. That's no fun. And so we might do two or three videos in one day, literally, and not we don't ever rush them. It's just that we've got all day. We can put together two or three videos, not complicated videos. Usually we'll have a video, maybe it's a gun review. Like we've got one coming up. We're going to do maybe Thursday or Friday this week, and it's a kind of a newer gun, and we're anxious to do it. Looking forward to it, and kind of setting up some things for that. That's the main video on Thursday or Friday. But we may do some other video that doesn't require a lot of thought or a lot of setup or something, that sort of thing. We don't. There's no need for us to rush through. Oh, we got to do 3 videos today, and we got to review these 3 firearms or something. I wouldn't want to do that. You can tell from the videos we're not really rushing. In fact, they're too long, right?
Right. No, it's great. So one of the things, obviously, that has changed a lot since 2007 is the type of video and content that we're seeing out there. I see that you're doing shorts now. You have these little quick FAQ videos. Can you kind of walk us through how you're keeping up with all of the changes that go on in the internet world while still maintaining that longer form video content that people really like?
Yeah. Well, we don't want to ignore what's going on, in the world, and talking with our Google rep. I was kind of resistant doing like the shorts because we've really always done some short videos. We line up 3, 4 watermelons and shoot them, do something. I won't say for the kids, but just something that's more entertaining, or something brief. Yeah, just fun, some little fun thing. We set up some clay pots and do some quick pot smoking or something. We've done that for years and years, And so that's one reason I was a little reluctant. Our Google reps, they're really pushing. They want us to do shorts, and I said, well, okay, we sort of already do that, but then because it's mobile phone based more or less, and I finally was convinced, okay, well maybe to bring in some people that are not aware of us, or they're simple enough to do and they're fun too. And so we did a couple, and then we did a couple more, and really I've noticed they really are beginning to get a lot of views, those shorts and YouTube shorts. And they probably are pulling in some new viewers that were not aware of us. And so, especially, I think a couple of them gotten, I don't know, I want to say maybe a couple of million views or something, maybe, or a lot of more views than I would have thought. And so that's got to be pulling in maybe some people who are just randomly looking on their phone, and they pull up again, oh, who's this guy? And maybe they come and see something more educational, on the channel. So, because our primary goal, above it all, really not talked about, is really for the Second Amendment, Bill of Rights. I mean, if nothing else, we want to do our job there and help educate young people, bring people into the shooting sports, and hopefully show them the right way to do things. And I think 99.9% of the time, we do not fail in that. I try to exercise demonstrate gun safety, and do all those things the right way, set a good example for people, and, just hopefully we're working for the Second Amendment more than anything, even if we're having fun doing it.
Oh, definitely. Normalizing and having a ton of fun. That's what you guys do best.
From our experiences, there's always people that think guns are these evil things, and that, and they troll around the internet, of course.
Yeah.
But, the people you hang out with and in the shooting world, and that I know, and that we all, just good folks enjoying the hobby,
It is. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break, but we're going to come back for the second segment, have you talk more ammo related stuff and more. So with that, we'll be right back.
It's a legacy 100 years in the making, where American ingenuity met a trailblazing spirit. Hard work united with patriotism. Technology blended with new ideas. Right here in Anoka, Minnesota. Born in 1922, made in America, proud to be the best. A century of innovation, and we're just getting warmed up. Welcome back to It's Federal Season and our technology segment, Tech Talk.
So welcome back to It's Federal Season podcast, and this is our Tech Talk segment. We still have the amazing Hickok45 on, and we're going to talk a lot more about specific things, but I did a search of the top 100 YouTube channels, global stars like Perry, Swift. They all have, 40 plus million subscribers, billions of views. But you are right up there, and especially as someone in the gun world, it's very motivating and exciting for all of us. How do you put that into perspective when you're considering your subscribers? Then, the fact that you have more subscribers than there are NRA members out there, that has to feel pretty amazing.
Well, it's nice, having a pretty good following. Yeah, it really is. It's great that firearms have become so mainstream. Yeah, it really is, and it's a double-edged sword. I think I've been in the firearms world for so long. I recall back in the 70s or 80s, we try to find a like-minded, kindred soul. You're going to be at a party with your, Christmas party with your wife, or something. And
right.
And it'd be someone else. So somehow the subject would come up of firearms, and you end up in a big conversation there. Oh, there's one of me there. There's one of my kind. We talk guns,
Yes.
It's just like we understand, talk a common language, and it's something that people are generally enthusiastic about, like golf or anything else. But
Yeah.
that has evolved over the years, and now, for example, if you were at a dinner party or any kind of gathering, just random gathering, employees, where someone works, maybe a company party, and there's 100 people there, well, there'd be more than one or two people that are into firearms, right? They're probably like 30% of them. And so that has changed. It's so much more mainstream, and that's nice. And again, the fact that I tell you, when we started doing this, John, one of the things I said to John, I said, well, this is fun and we're getting these viewers, but we don't really have any credibility. I'm not a cop. I've not been in the military. But this is fun. We'll do it. We really thought that we would not get very much of a following, that it would be very limited in growth because I'm just a regular guy. Yeah, I was a reserve deputy. I volunteered some volunteer work with my local county, but I don't have any real experience in those areas, and no credibility, was what I was thinking. You'd have to, again, it was early days of YouTube and this sort of thing.
Yeah.
But so it turns out that being kind of just an average guy really is one reason it's grown. I mean, really, I make the joke about, we excel in mediocrity in a lot of ways. We are the average Joe that just likes to shoot. I don't have to be a great marksman. I might be able to shoot better than maybe some of the, average person or people who haven't shot a lot, but I don't have to do like you. I don't have that pressure to hit the target every time, I just like guns, and that's the way most people are. They just want to shoot. And most shooters will probably never be involved in competition like you are, or even like I was.
Yep.
and they just are interested in firearms. It's fun, and so yeah, it's mainstream, and it's great that there's so many people interested in it, and I enjoy helping them however I can. Yeah, just with whatever information we can provide. That's why I do take a lot of pride in trying to give a really honest look. And I'm biased. I have my biases, just like you do, I'm sure, about specific firearms. So understandably, you're going to prefer a certain firearm or caliber over this, or over that. And I make no bones about that, but I'm being honest about that, though. It's not because someone told me to say that Glock told me to say that, or they made me like this gun better. Just my honest opinion. Anyway, it is great, and I hope we were able to help a lot of people and have fun doing it.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. I mean, there are obviously a lot of people out there who compete in the shooting sports, but I always think of them as like super users. I mean, they're dedicated, goal-oriented. They want to meet a very specific goal while they're shooting, but the vast majority are people who just enjoy shooting, who want to be more confident and comfortable with their firearms. And the fact that you're able to talk to so many of them out there is invaluable.
We hope so. And one thing too, I've been pleasantly surprised too. I get this big old ugly guy like me that I appear to be a Neanderthal. I'm sure to a lot of people, just especially people who are quick to pigeonhole or stereotype you. But we've been asked to speak to a lot of women's groups. I've actually spoken to women's gun clubs, and it's always like when I get invited, I say, "Whoa, what is wrong with this picture? You think I knew something about?" And because the differences in how you carry and different preferences. I'm no expert in any of that, but I'm pleased that people are not intimidated by our videos. I guess what it comes down to, like whether, and I don't mean to be sexist, but new shooters, and there's so many women entering the shooting sports, as in the last 20, 30 years, and they would just really fall under new shooters, people new to firearms. And so we're really pleased that people are not intimidated, because I know going into a gun shop, sometimes it can be very intimidating. I hear horror stories from viewers will share how they just, they go in. You don't see as much of that as you used to, but you go into a gun shop and you get some crusty old guy that looks like me and is impatient and doesn't want to really help, the customer very well. But so we're really pleased about that most people seem to feel welcome at our channel.
Absolutely. It's a testament to, no, absolutely. Keep patting away. It's with the way gun community has grown, you mentioned earlier that, and I experienced this growing up in the shooting sports in the late 80s and 90s. It was like Fight Club. We didn't talk about it. Like, you didn't share what you did, and because you didn't know the kind of reaction that would happen. But with social media today, and you being at the forefront with YouTube, and of course in other areas as well, we're able to connect with fellow gun owners on the screen too. Can you talk more about people in the comments and sharing that a little bit?
Yeah, it is nice because you can communicate. And that's how I spend a fair portion of my day. If we're not doing videos, I every morning I spend a couple hours just catching up on email and then skimming through comments. I can't get to them all, but because we have like 2,500 videos or something, but I skim through and I'll answer quite a few of them, and even quite a few Facebook questions and different things. I can't get to everybody, but I do enjoy answering people and answering comments, and and of course the FAQ videos answer a lot of those. You get the same questions over and over, as you know. But I enjoy interacting, with them online, and it's kind of a unique thing. This morning, there was a comment. I posted a video, and right away there was a comment from somebody in Uganda. It's just the entire planet, is watching, and they probably don't understand my redneck English very well, but they're watching, and it's pretty cool to be able to. We take it for granted, don't we, these days? I remember when it used to be a big deal. When I was teaching, we set up early on in the early 90s having electronic pen pals with a classroom, and it was New Zealand. It was like this really big deal, to do that, and now we all communicate with people all over the planet, without even thinking. So I enjoy that. I enjoy the trolls. What's life without a troll, a hater troll?
That's funny that you mention it. Like you take such a positive way of dealing with some of these people. Is that probably the greatest challenge you have to deal with on social media? Are the few people out there that are troll-like or anti-gunners or that sort of thing?
Well, I don't really see them as a challenge much because it's such an infinitesimal, percentage of people. But I see them as being humorous. And it's funny, our viewers, they always get mad at me if I do these Sunday videos where I'm more relaxed, kind of like now, just talking, shooting some and just yakking with our viewers. And if I make a crack or quote some troll comment or something, there are people who get mad at me. Hickok, quit, ignore the trolls. Ignore the trolls. Don't pay attention to what they say. Well, I really don't. I just find it humorous, because they're such a minority, And so I don't really see them as a challenge. I just don't. There's always, if you skim through comments, you're going to see somebody probably that is from the anti-gun world saying something, and they're just getting their fix by going in and hating on a gun owner. And same thing for people who just want to cause trouble. They're always going to be there. I think as you get older, I'll tell you I don't know about you, but in the early days, that did bother me more. Okay, it did. And John kind of would talk me off the ledge because wow, why are these people hating so much over silly things or nothing? And sometimes it's gun owners themselves. It's not just some random troll.
Yes.
Why are people so picky and looking for things, to just pick apart and be mad, and where does this anger coming? So, but that's just part of it, and I've learned to just kind of laugh at it.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned going through the comments in the morning. Is that a typical day for you to start things out with the, digging into the comments, getting your laugh from a few trolls here and there, and then going to film? Kind of explain that for us.
Kind of is, or at least, skimming through and then, answering some emails, answering some comments, and then whatever else, might need to post a video, get one ready to post, pick out a thumbnail. There's just, a lot of that kind of management, that you have to do. Maybe still render a video. I have one I need to render here probably after we get off and to post at a later time. And there's just always things like that to do on the computer, along with personal things, and all the sites and things, pay some bills, whatever you're doing.
Yep.
And then I try to get finished with that, by whatever. I'm an early riser. I may be up at 4 o'clock, a lot of mornings, or 5 o'clock. So,
oh wow.
So I've gone through a lot of things, and I'm ready by at like 8 or 9 o'clock. Run to the post office, and then be setting up for videos or whatever we're doing. Or if we're not doing videos, just other things, and working on the range. Yesterday I worked on the range some and set up and did some things there, getting ready for videos. There's always something to do, as you can imagine, and like everybody, you have there's more to everybody's job than anybody realizes. And although I don't look at it as a job, getting ammo together and figuring out what we're going to be doing and what we need, and checking the ammo inventory and see if I need to order anything, from federal, because we need to stay ahead, of course, because
yes,
how it is. When you think about something, you can't afford to. Oh man, I'm getting low on 9mm or something, because you're not going to have it the next day,
right.
And or whatever it might be, and just keeping track of things. But no complaints. It's very, very busy, but I can also take off days, and went to Florida for a week, and now the job goes with I take my laptop, and the same thing. I have a fairly quick internet connection here, and so I upload whatever we're going to be posting while I'm on a trip. We go to SHOT Show for a couple of weeks. We go out west, and I just so then manage it on the road, of course, like everybody does.
I think a lot of people don't realize how much work there is involved in just, maintaining the things that need to be maintained. and this must be the easiest job in the world.
Yeah, it always looks great. And it is, being able to shoot for a living. I never can complain. I joke on video sometimes if I catch myself feeling like harried, and I don't have enough time or something. Wait a minute now.
Yeah.
You get to shoot for a living. It's just like when I go to a gun safe. I joke about that. And one of my gun safes, I'm digging through for a gun, and two want to fall out on my arm or something, or something like that. Or I get mad because I can't find where's that shield? Where's that or this rifle? And I catch myself. I say, no, wait a minute. You are actually about to get frustrated and mad because you have so many firearms you can't find one. Is that what you're about to do? You're about to get upset over that? So I have to slap myself here occasionally. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. I used to teach middle school,
Yes, this is true. That was a lot more involved, I'm sure. Talking about ammo specifically, we know a gun's not going to work unless it's got great ammo. What have you kind of seen as you've played with firearms for 50 to 60 years, as you mentioned, about the evolution of ammo over time?
Oh boy, so many more choices, I think, and types of ammo and in bullet configurations, of course, as we know, the technology having changed dramatically. That doesn't always affect what we do in videos as much, but it's been interesting to see the effectiveness, in hollow point, great hollow point ammo coming along and so many various calibers and that kind of thing. We use some hollow point to test guns with, make sure it feeds it often. Yeah. And of course, I carry hollow points, a good hollow point, like HST, and have, again, before I knew federal. But yeah. I think it seems like now this is a silly thing to say, I guess, right now, because people go, "What did you say?" But I think the availability of ammo has improved over the years. So in a variety of calibers, I know that back in the 70s and 80s and even the 90s, maybe going into a gun shop, but I don't think you had the array of 9mm, the ammo. You are 38 special, 44 main, just everything and different bullet weights, and that I think has changed quite a bit. And gun shops, I think, are more cognizant and have been in the last 20, 30 years of having more ammo available. Oh, there's more shooters. They got to have ammo and they got to buy it, and it's a bigger sport now. It's more mainstream, as we were talking about. And so ammo seems to be more of an issue, more of a concern with these, at least good gun shops, than it used to be. You might go into a gun shop back in the 70s or 80s, and they'd have, I think I got a box of 38 special over here. It just is almost an afterthought in some gun shops. But so the availability is big, I think. And then, reliability, of course, it seems to have improved, I believe. Configurations of even range ammo, but especially hollow point ammo, 45 ACP, for example, and different things where old 1911s wouldn't always feed, some of that wide mouth hollow point ammo back in the early days. And you can put like HST hollow points in about any 45, and it feeds for me. Just the tweaking of that has been good. And of course, again, availability in terms of new calibers like the Valkyrie or the 30 Super Carry, things like that. More choices, which are great. Everybody wants to say, well, there's no need for another caliber. Why we need that? What if people have been saying that? Well, when 9mm came out, or 45, or 38 special, well, who needs another 38? So innovation is good. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to. I say that with firearms. Well, just what we need, another Micro 9. Well, does it hurt you if someone comes out with another Micro 9 or another pickup truck? It gives you another choice. Same with ammo.
No, that's a great point. I remember, starting shooting with my dad, and we would have to get together as a club to buy brass and primers and all of that projectiles, because the loads that we wanted to shoot in competition were not available. I mean, they didn't think about power factor, any of that. And now with like Action Pistol Syntech and a bunch of other things. They're specifically designed to work for competition shooters, so you can just like buy the ammo that you need. It's so great.
Oh, isn't it? Exactly. Well, and just reloading components in general back in the 70s were not as available. Finding bullet heads, just the bullet. You couldn't find it. So, you had to cast your own, and especially if you're doing cast bullets. But, even jacketed bullets were not the one that was available. So, yeah, it's great, all the various choices. And in competition, you especially see that.
Yeah, definitely. So we're going to play a little bit of a game here. I'm going to list a bunch of different calibers, and I want you to kind of maybe explain what you like to shoot out of the whatever platform it is, and maybe your favorite gun to go with that caliber. Are you up for that?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll start with something easy. Yes. So 22 long rifle.
22 long rifle. Okay. My favorite gun, favorite ammo. I tell you, I'm really fond of CCI, and I shoot a lot of that. And I'm also fond of any 22 long rifle that works. And most of the federal stuff seems to function fine, of course. The bulk ammo.
Little guys.
Yeah, we've been very pleased with the bulk ammo that Forever. It just shoots, and it's reliable. I guess my number one would be if in terms of reliability and really knowing that it's going to work. 22 is inherently not as reliable as centerfire, of course, but CCI I've had really good luck with. So I'll generally put that, if there's a firearm I don't want any issues, I want to make sure I don't have any issues, I'll typically go with that. In a rifle, I really like my Marlin. I've got a Marlin Cowboy model lever gun in 22 long rifle, the Cowboy Limited, which is not made any longer. That's one of my very favorites. And I like my dad's old Revelation, made by High Standard. I brought it out on the last Sunday shoot around that I've been shooting since I was 10 years old, and so that's one of my favorite ones to fire. I don't do as much, with 22 as I do center fire, but I'm always reminded that I need to shoot more whenever I get one out.
Exactly. We should also preface this. We have mentioned it before, but as members of Team Federal, we are very biased about federal ammunition. So you'll probably be hearing a lot of selections there. So next up, 9mm. That's a big one.
Yeah, it is. Is it? Well, I'm partial in ammo to the heavier bullets, and I used to shoot almost nothing when I was hand loading, but 147 grains. I discovered that whenever I used it in USPSA matches, it was more likely to knock the pepper. I used to shoot with some people that would have a little fun setting the poppers harder than they should and different things. Back when a lot of people, especially those putting on the match, were shooting 45. So you sometimes have trouble knocking the poppers over with a 9. And I was, okay, I'm going with a heavier bullet. And so I started hand loading at 147 grains, and I had less trouble with that than anybody else. Because it seemed like everybody was shooting either that or a 115 and not as much 124. Yeah. But I have settled, and I'll carry 147 grain ammo often, but as far as range ammo, I like the 124 grain. The American Eagle is my favorite ammo, even if I didn't know anybody named Federal Premium, personally. Yeah. And when I went to a gun shop, that's what I would buy. I like the one for 24 grain. It's just a nice compromise, and that's what I always request from Federal. We shoot the most of. I get the consistency. As anybody can see from the videos, it's reliable. Yeah, it works. I mean, if we have a problem, wow. It's with the gun, or the magazine. It's just virtually never with ammo. And, that's one reason I like to shoot the American Eagle. With Federal, we just don't have any trouble, And, again, we're sponsored by Federal, but it's just a fact. It's just a fact. And it's why we're happy to be sponsored by Federal, because we don't have problems with ammo. And that's my favorite round. It seems to work well in about any firearm, and the micro 9s, the bigger 9mm or whatever. And man, you expect me to tell you which 9mm I like the most? I don't know. I like a Glock 19,
I know, it's
but
like
I like the
asking a girl
SIGs a
her favorite
lot.
pair of shoes.
Yeah, I'm really fond of the
Yep.
little P365. You know, that's just a nice gun.
Nice.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right. So 223.
223. I like for general shooting. I tend to shoot a 55 grain. You know, the federal stuff, just 55 grain. I don't do like long range accuracy shooting. I mean, I like to be accurate, quote unquote, when I'm shooting, but I don't shoot for groups at long range and that sort of thing. So I shoot some of the heavier bullets, you know, 62 grain, but I typically the 55 grain ammo and fine, and you know, it always works great. And we shoot a lot of federal 55 grain ammo, and works in all my AR-15s, and that's my favorite firearm to shoot, you know, 223 or 5.56, you know, out of an AR-15. Imagine that.
Yep. There you go. All right. 30-06.
30-06. Okay. I like the let's see, what's it, the 30-06. My favorite ammo that I shoot, I think the most, is the federal Garand. I think it's American Eagle Garand. It's for the Garand. Okay. Since I have a Garand, and that's one of the main 30-06 firearms that I shoot when I'm shooting 30-06 and in videos or even out of videos some. And so it's great they've got that round that's designed for that, so it don't damage the rifle. And, you know, what's it, 150 grain or 147 grain, whatever. It's kind of like the M1A, the 308 ammo. And so I just typically will often shoot that when I'm shooting, and in videos, that ammo, and even if it's a bolt action rifle maybe, although I shoot their standard 308 quite often, American Eagle, and then that's like, in fact, John has an M60, and we've done a couple or several videos with M60s, and Federal's great, and they were able to get us some linked ammo for that. So that's,
nice.
Oh man, it was great, yeah. And because we went through a little bit of it for that, but typically I like that Garand. It's not a heavy kicker, you know, or anything. It's fun to shoot. Yeah.
That's great. All right. And the last one, your kind of pen namesake, I guess, 45 auto.
I like the 230 grain ammo, and that's what we typically get from Federal, the American Eagle 230 grain hard, you know, jacketed ammo, and the classic round. You know, I'm so glad they load that, because it just works, and it does. Unless they're for carry or for whatever. Of course, the HST is my favorite, in the same weight bullet. But the 230 grain ammo is what I shoot, and probably enjoy it most out of a 1911. Yeah. I like a Glock, and I like some other 45s, but I enjoy shooting it more out of a 1911 of any kind, you know.
That's classic. Classic. Is there a firearm or target or caliber that is on your bucket list that you have not yet had the pleasure of shooting, that that you're thinking about or adding to your YouTube videos to do one day?
Yeah. Wow, you know, as far as a caliber, it's hard. We've shot so many calibers and different calibers. We need to do more 50. John has a Barrett. I don't shoot a 50 here where I live. Neighbors are a little too close for that. I think it might vibrate their house window. But I like to do more with that. You know, I can't even think of a caliber that I would like to do that we have not done yet. It might be something I'm not thinking of, and something will come to me. It most likely would be an Old West caliber of some kind, probably some Firearm. You know, like we do a lot with old firearms, and I'm trying to think of what it is. And there's some really unusual cartridges for that, and sometimes, you know, Federal doesn't load those, you know. But I shoot, for example, 4440, you know, in a Henry rifle, some things like that. It's rare that I can, but leave to me, I come up with some things that they don't load for, and they load for everything. But so some old cast bullet firearm that they don't load for, which is hard to find, but that's most likely that I would end up with doing, because I really love the classic rifles and things, going back to the Western days and different things like that. Fortunately, 4570 is one of my favorite cartridges and calibers. I have a variety of firearms in that. Thankfully, federal loads for that, and so that's great. But I can't think of we've been so fortunate. And I'm reminded of that from your question. Here I sit. I can't. How many people would like to be in my chair right now? I can't think of a gun I'd like to shoot I have not fired. I mean, that's pretty sad and lame. But I really can't think of anything right offhand that I have not gotten to. I mean, we've gotten to so many things. The Sturmgewehr, we did at various times. We've just been fortunate to shoot so many different firearms. I was out plinking yesterday with a 303 British Lee Enfield, and just different things like that. Again, which federal loads for. So just very, very fortunate. I can't think of anything right off. Other than a cannon. I want to get a cannon sometime and shoot
There you go. There you go. Cannon, tank, whatever. Yeah, no, that's great. Well, we have used up our hour, and I could sit here and talk to you all day. I can't say enough what a joy it's been for me to sit here and talk guns and gear and ammo with you, and your humble nature and the joy that you do everything. So appreciate it.
Well, it's been fun, and it'd be more fun to talk with you more at sometime. You're so accomplished in the world of shooting competition. Like I say, it's like Tom Brady interviewing a high school quarterback, and I should be interviewing you, or somebody should be. You've probably been interviewed a million times, but thanks for all you do in the shooting sports, and congratulations on all your success. Folks like you and Rob Latham, I remind people all the time, look, you think I can shoot? You haven't seen people like Julie Golob or Rob Latham shoot. You don't know those people, apparently. But anyway, thanks. It's been good to chat with you.
Likewise. Thanks so much.
Take care.
Good boy.
It's a season with no beginning or end. With bonds so strong, not weather or age or thousands of miles keep us from it. Our love for it is as varied as those who are addicted to its pursuit. A connection with the outdoors, with family and your best friend. We plan with anticipation. We prepare and wait in silence. With tired legs, cold hands, we push on. All in hopes of hearing a call that shatters the calm. To see the approach of thundering skies and experience the instantaneous rush. For whatever your reason, this is our season.
Welcome back to It's Federal Season and the News and Notes segment.
Welcome back to the It's Federal Season podcast. I am your guest host, Julie Golob. I look forward to hosting a couple more episodes with you all in the coming months. We've got an expert on personal defense coming up, and I'm excited to talk to Federal's newest ambassador, Olympic gold medalist Amber English, about her trip to Tokyo and what's next in her career plans. If you are a Federal fan, make sure you check out our latest merchandise and apparel at federalpremium.com/merchandise/apparel. There are new t-shirts, hats, and sweatshirts there celebrating the 100-year anniversary of Federal. Keep checking back throughout the year for new products there. If you're planning to come to Houston, Texas in May, you can meet the team from Federal at the NRA annual meetings. That's May 27th through 29th at the center there in Houston. You can talk with experts about centerfire rifle, pistol ammo, shotgun, all the good stuff. Our next release of the It's Federal Season podcast will be May 5th when we connect with Amber English, that Olympic gold medalist from Tokyo. And in the meantime, you can learn more about me at juliegolob.com or follow me on social media at Julie Golob. And finally, if you like what you hear on this podcast, go to our ratings and reviews and give your honest feedback.